Hi everyone, this is the 139th video of the ACT Math Practice Problem series, and here we have an interesting problem from the concept of function and graph. As I always recommend, before seeing the solution, you can pause the video and give it a try yourself, and after that of course you want to match with my solution. So let's get started. Here the question says, the graph in the standard coordinate plane is the graph of one of the following functions. Which function's graph is it? So here we have been provided with a graph of a function and we have been provided with 5 different functions. And we have to determine which of those 5 functions represents this graph, or the graph represents which of the following 5 functions, right? Now let's highlight the 3 most important points on this graph. First one is x equals -3. Let's say this is point A. I'm making a note in yellow. So let's assume that this is point A and this is actually at x equals -3. And then we have another point which is at the origin at x equals 0. Let's say that is point B or maybe O, whatever we can call it. Let's say this is O because it is x equals 0. So we can assume that it's the origin, and here it is x equals 0. And then the third point which is right here, let's say this is point B right here. So let's say this is point B and there we have x equals +1. So now we can clearly see that 5 different zeros that we have. Well, why did I say 5 different zeros? Because at point A, the graph does not cut the x-axis. It simply touches the x-axis. That means we have 2 zeros right there. The multiplicity of the zero factor would be an even multiplicity. So if you think about the zero factor, what is the zero factor for the point A? Well, the zero factor would be x equals 3. That means that would be x plus 3 equals 0. So you can say that is the zero factor at point A. Similarly, what is the zero factor at point O? Well, there we already have x equals 0, so x would be the zero factor there. So this is the zero factor. X itself is the zero factor there, x equals 0. I mean, if you are thinking that, hey, should we say x minus 0 equals 0? Well, that is same as x equals 0. Right? So let me get rid of that. And there also you see the graph does not cut the x-axis. It simply touches the x-axis. That means we have 2 zeros right there. The multiplicity of the zero factor would be 2. That means for this point we are going to have x squared as one of the factors of this function. And then for point A, definitely it would be x plus 3 whole squared. So let me make a note right here. And then at point B, the graph cuts the x-axis. That means the multiplicity of the zero factor at point B would be 1. So then what is the zero factor at point B? Well, point B, the zero factor would be x minus 1 equals 0. That means this is the zero factor and here the multiplicity of this factor would be 1 because it cuts the x-axis at that point. So then for point B, the zero factor would be x minus 1 to the power 1. So I'm just not writing that. I'm simply saying that it's x minus 1. So now you can clearly see which function it is. The function is going to look like this. It will have an x squared times it will have an x minus 1. We can write it like this, and also times it would have an x plus 3 whole squared. And if you look at our answer options, we have x squared times x minus 1 times x plus 3 whole squared under option D. So option D would be the correct option. I hope everything made sense. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.